Kimmi Scott has finally reached her breaking point. And this time, it's not just about her health or her marriage. It's the relentless, never-ending feud between Melody Hall and LaTisha's Scott that has pushed her to tears, leaving fans shocked and asking one big question. How much more can Kimmi take before she walks away from it all? What happened behind the scenes that left her so emotional? And why is this feud dragging her deeper than ever before? Stay tuned because the truth about Kimmi's breakdown will change the way you see the entire cast of Love and Marriage. Huntsville. If you've been following Love and Marriage, Huntsville, you already know the drama between Melody Hall and LaTisha's Scott has been one of the longest-running storylines on the show. From messy accusations to public shade and bitter arguments, their feud has dominated the spotlight for years. But now, someone else has been caught in the middle. And that person is Kimmi Scott. Kimmi has always been the voice of reason, the calm presence, the one who tried to keep the peace while everyone else was at war. But after months of carrying the weight of other people's battles, she's finally showing cracks in her armor. For the first time, fans are seeing a side of Kimmi they've ever witnessed before. Exhausted, emotional, and completely drained from the drama that just won't stop. In this video, we're diving deep into what really led to Kimmi's breakdown. We'll uncover the emotional toll this feud has taken on her, how her relationships with Melody and LaTisha have been tested, and we fans are rallying behind her like never before. Trust me, you won't want to miss this because the tension that brought Kimmi to this point is far bigger than just one argument. It's a warning sign that could change the entire dynamic of the cast. To truly understand why Kimmi Scott is breaking down, today we first need to go back to the origins of the feud that has shaken the entire Love and Marriage Huntsville cast. The never-ending rivalry between Melody Hall and LaTisha's Scott. When Love and Marriage Huntsville first premiered, fans were introduced to three powerful couples with big dreams and big personalities. At first glance, Melody and LaTisha seemed like two women who could have been allies. Both were ambitious, both were strong-minded, and both were deeply invested in their families and businesses. But underneath the surface, cracks began to form. The early tension between Melody and LaTisha reportedly started with accusations about infidelity. Melody, during one of the show's most talked-about moments, hinted at rumors surrounding LaTisha's husband, Marcel Scott. That single spark ignited a wildfire of distrust. From that moment, their friendship, if you could even call it that, began, spiraling downward. Over time, the feud grew deeper. Melody felt that LaTisha was dismissive of her pain and struggles, especially during her divorce from Martel Hall. On the other hand, LaTisha accused Melody of being arrogant, self-centered, and constantly trying to make others look bad to elevate herself. Each season brought new arguments, new shade, and fresh wounds. What makes this feud especially toxic is that it didn't stay confined to just Melody and LaTisha. Their issues spilled over into their families, their friends, and ultimately, their castmates. And that's where Kimmi comes in. Kimmi, married to Moreau's brother Maurice, was immediately placed in a difficult position. How could she maintain peace in her own household, support her husband, still be friends with Melody, all while LaTisha was her sister-in-law? It was an impossible balancing act, and fans began to notice how much pressure Kimmi was under. This isn't just a feud between two women. It's a storm that has pulled nearly everyone on the show into its path. And while Melody and LaTisha may thrive on confrontation, Kimmi is wired differently. She doesn't like mess, shadow scent, seek drama. And she definitely doesn't enjoy being forced to choose sides. But here's where it gets even more complicated and heartbreaking. Kimmi's efforts to remain neutral haven't always been respected. Melody and LaTisha have, at different points, accused Kimmi of not being loyal now, not speaking up enough, or not choosing one side over the other. This constant tug-of-war has been emotionally exhausting. And now, years later, with the feud still raging, the toll on Kimmi has reached its peak. Fans have witnessed her breaking down, not because of something she directly did, but she's been caught in the crossfire of a battle that just won't end. But here's the part that will shock you the most. Kimmi's breakdown isn't just about the past arguments. It's about something much deeper and much more personal that she's been carrying behind the scenes. If you've followed Kimmi Scott since her very first appearance on Love and Marriage, Huntsville, one thing has always been clear. She has never been the type to stir the pot. Unlike some of her castmates, Kimmi values peace, balance, and maturity. She's the one who steps into heated conversations with a calm voice, urging everyone to lower the temperature. But here's the hard truth. Being the peacemaker isn't easy. In fact, it's one of the heaviest roles to carry, especially when the people around you thrive on conflict. And Kimmi has been carrying this weight for years. Think about it. Melody and LaTisha are two dominant personalities who both feel they've been wronged. They're not backing down anytime soon. They throw shade, expose secrets, they question each other's loyalty, and they make sure their voices are heard loud and clear. And right in the middle of that storm is Kimmi, who has been expected to fix things she didn't break. Her marriage to Maurice places her squarely on the Scott side of the family, which automatically ties her to LaTisha and Marcello. But at this matin, Kimmi has maintained a bond with Melody, a bond that many fans admired because it showed that you could rise above the drama. But let's be real, that's a near impossible position to hold. On one side, LaTisha has looked at Kimmi and said, "Why aren't you defending me more? Why aren't you showing family loyalty?" On the other side, Melody has given her the side eye, wondering, "Why aren't you standing up for me when LaTisha drags my name through the mud?" No matter what Kimmi does, it feels like she can't win. And that is exactly why her role as peacemaker has become more of a curse-a-thon, a blessing. It's also important to remember that Kimmi isn't just a cast member on a reality show. She's a wife, a mother, and a woman who has dealt with her own deeply personal struggles, including her public health battle. While she's trying to manage all of that, she's constantly being pulled into fights that aren't hers to begin with. Imagine the mental and emotional strain of never being allowed to just be. Fans of the show have often pointed out how calm and collected Kimmi seems compared to everyone else. But what they're now realizing is that her calm doesn't mean she's unaffected. Sometimes the people who try the hardest to hold everyone else together are the ones who suffer the most in silence. And recently, that silence has turned into tears. Kimmi's breakdown is proof that the pressure has finally reached its boiling point. After seasons of trying to mediate, seasons of defending her neutrality, and seasons of being pulled in both directions, Kimmi's emotions spilled over in front of the cameras. And what makes it even more painful is the realization that her breakdown didn't shock many fans. In fact, most viewers saw it coming. The way she's been stretched thin, the way her patience has been tested. It was only a matter of time before Kimmi's calm exterior cracked under the pressure. But what exactly pushed her over the edge this time? Was it a new fight between Melody and LaTisha? Was it a comment that hit too close to home? Was it something much deeper? Something Kimmi has been hiding all along? Well, this is where it gets very interesting because Kimmi's tears are about more than just the drama unfolding on screen. There are moments in reality TV that stop everyone in their tracks. Moments where the usual shade back and forth arguments and petty disputes suddenly give way to something raw and unfiltered. For Kimmi Scott, that moment came when she could no longer hold back the weight she had been carrying. In the middle of yet another heated discussion involving Melody and LaTisha, Kimmi's composure cracked. Cameras captured her voice trembling, her eyes welling with tears, and her struggle to even finish her sentences. For years, she had been the strong one, the calm one, the rational one. But in this moment, she let the world see the vulnerability she had been hiding. She admitted what many fans suspected all along. That being caught between Melody and LaTisha wasn't just frustrating. It was emotionally exhausting. She confessed that no matter how much she tried to stay neutral, she felt like both sides were pulling her apart, expecting loyalty and taking offense whenever she didn't choose them over the other. And for someone like Kimmi who values peace above all else, that kind of tension was unbearable. But what made this confession so powerful wasn't just the words she said. It was how she said them. There was no dramatic outburst, no screaming, match, no theatrics for the cameras. Instead, it was raw honesty. A woman who had reached her limit, finally opening up about the pressure, the loneliness, and the pain that comes with constantly trying to hold together relationships that others seem determined to break. Fans on social media immediately reacted. Some said they were heartbroken watching Kimmi cry because it reminded them of times in their own lives when they felt forced to play mediator between friends or family members.